Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danya if you're new here, and in today's video I'm working on a few crafts that have been on my to-do list for a while. And if you missed the part one, I worked on the first half of my list in that video. I'll have it on the screen if you want to watch that. And I couldn't get through everything in that video, so today I'm continuing to work through my list and hopefully get everything done. I feel like there's always something on my to-do list, so maybe I have to do these kind of videos more regularly to hold myself accountable and make sure I get all of those things done. I want to start off with this organizer, and I bought this from Dollar Tree a couple weeks ago. I think this was where they have all their bathroom items, so soap dispensers and other bathroom products. But what I want to use it for, I like how it has 3 sections and I really like the size. I want to use it as an organizer for when I'm making cards, because I usually don't, and when I say usually, I mean it's only been a couple months since I've really been making cards. I don't like to just work on one at a time. I'm usually working on 2 or 3 at the same time. So when I saw this, I figured this was perfect to hold my die cuts as I'm organizing all the card panels, the cardstock colors, and everything I want to lay out. It'll be really nice to have them organized. So for example, this is one of the cards that I'm currently working on. So I can have this over here, and then this is the second one. And then the die cuts for the third one can go in here. So what I want to do is I'm just going to simply add, just to differentiate them, and to refer to them once I'm ready to start gluing them down, is I'm just going to have, let me peel off the tag. I'm just going to simply have numbers right here in the middle, and that way when I, because sometimes I can't get it all done on the same day, so this is just a better way to keep everything organized. And then I can even have the cardstock in its own pile, so I can have cardstock for card number 1 over here, cardstock for card number 2, and so on. So just a very simple label to keep them all in their designated spots. Okay, I'm gonna grab a small piece of transfer tape. I think this should work. It's not super, here, let me set this aside for a minute. And all I did was I just added rubbing alcohol, in case you were wondering what that was. And this transfer tape has lost some of its stickiness, but I think it should be, yeah, it worked perfectly. All right, let's bring this back in. And I'm probably just going to have it right in the middle. I love when I can see the grid lines because it takes out the guesswork. Perfect. Now we'll do number 2. Do you enjoy these kind of videos where I'm just getting a few things done and off of my list, or do you prefer more theme-based videos, like crafts for spring or crafts for summer and those kind of videos, or both? Let me know. All right, that looks perfect. And I've noticed that Dollar Tree, if you go to their other aisles, so even if it's for a craft item, don't just look through their craft aisle. Go to the aisle with, I don't know, Tupperwares, mugs. You never know what they have over there that you can use for something else. All right, and then we're just gonna do the exact same thing. Perfect. Wonderful. That is perfect. Let me bring the die cuts back in. And I'm actually working on some cards for my cousins. Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if by the time you see this video, you might have already seen me working on these cards. Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I plan out roughly which day I want the video to come out, but then I have to make changes, you know, for different reasons. So these are the different cards that I'm working on. If you've already seen them, you know what they're gonna look like when they come to life. All right, first one is ready. I love how that turned out. Let's set it aside and bring in the second one. All right, the next item is this gorgeous mirror that I bought from Dollar Tree. So it was also $1.25, and I don't want the reflection to be distracting. So I'm just gonna grab a piece of paper to cover the mirror itself. Okay, so let me actually take the plastic off. Okay, I'm just gonna cover this up while I explain what I want to do. So this black frame is gorgeous, and it actually matches some of the other things that I have on my mantle really nicely, and especially the frames that I have on there. So I want to put this right next to them, but I wanted to add something right here. And it's just a really, really nice reminder that every time I read this, I'm like, yes, this is what I need in my life daily. And this says faith over fear. Uh-oh, I lost the I. And there were so many times in my life where I remember feeling so afraid about the outcome or the future or a certain situation. And these words are what calmed me and grounded me and really helped me. So I thought it was absolutely perfect to have it on top of my mantle as a daily reminder that anytime I feel scared or anxious, I need to remember that faith is stronger. Okay, now because it was wrapped in plastic, I don't think I'm going to add any rubbing alcohol to the mirror. And then I think this size should be good enough. Okay, perfect. I was nervous about how that was going to weed out because it's so thin, but it did great. Now, I'm trying to decide. I want it to go on the bottom, maybe right here. And I'll remove the paper and show you how it all looks once it's done. But I just feel like the reflection is going to be very distracting. Yeah, let's do that. I just want it to go right here. Okay, I have to cut some of the transfer tape. All right, I lifted it up to double check and it looks great. So let's peel this off. Oh my goodness, look at that. So pretty. I love it so much. I'm so happy with how that turned out. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, the next thing on my list are these bin clips. And if you saw the first video where I worked on items from my to-do list, I worked on these. And at the end of the video, I was telling you that I was going to order some off of Amazon because I was missing 3. And just before I placed that order, I added them to my cart. And then before I placed the order, I actually was walking around the Target dollar spot and I found these. So you get 4 and a marker for $1. I do need 5, so I bought a second bag. I'll only be using 1 from that one, and then I'll save the rest for something else. But I did remove the wording from a couple of these to have 5 of them be consistent because I have 5 bins in a row. So the top row is all going to be from this design, and then the other ones are all going to be from these, which I already worked on in that video. And these are different. They're not the same shape, you know, or size, but from a distance, you won't really be able to tell. And I kept the font and size consistent to keep it all looking cohesive, you know, when you see it from a distance. And so that's what I need to do with these. And I need to grab the second bag. I accidentally put it in a different pile. But yeah, I'm excited to have everything looking nice and organized, and it was a nice coincidence. And I was telling you in that video too that I always see some form of these bin labels in the Target dollar spot. So, you know, if you can't find these exact ones, they do have some variation every couple months, I feel like. And I do also like the ones that Amazon sell. So those are nice too if you don't have a Target nearby, or if your Target doesn't carry these, that's a great option too. Okay, let's open these up. And I won't be needing the marker. I'll save that for my kids. I won't be adding rubbing alcohol because it was in a plastic bag, so that should be ready to receive the vinyl. Let me grab the second bag. All right, just to quickly show you what else I found. They had these really cute clouds in this mint color, and then they had pink as well, and they all are the same price. So $1 for 4 clips and 1 dry erase marker. So really, really nice. Okay, let's open this one up as well. I just need 1. All right, I think this piece is perfect. All right, those are ready. I'm so happy to check this off of my list. Let's move on to the next one. All right, the next thing I want to work on are these really pretty pink bins that I bought from the Target dollar spot. They were $5 each, and I really like the color, and then I like that they're stackable as well. So I purchased 2, and I want to stack them on top of each other, and I'm going to use these to house my blanks and all the items that I'm going to be using for any upcoming video. So I'm going to prep 2 at a time. And all I want to add right here is, let me set this aside for a minute. I just cut out video prep, and I'm gonna place it on the bottom right on both of those pink bins. And again, I really liked that they were stackable so they don't take up much space, and I can put everything in there when I'm planning out a video, and that way when I'm ready to film, it's all right there. All right, let's do one at a time. I want this to go right here. That's it, as simple as that. And I purposely kept everything cohesive, the color of the vinyl, the font. I just think it'll look a lot nicer and more cohesive. That's it. Let's do the same thing to the second one. Okay, doing the same thing, making sure it's straight. Perfect. Awesome. That is ready. I'm so excited to start using these. I love the color. So happy about this. All right, let's move on to the last one. All right, the last item on my list is actually something I meant to work on in the first video, but I completely forgot. After I worked on these cute cherries, I meant to add my initial from my logo right here, but I forgot to do that in the first video. So I figured I'd just include it in this one. And if you haven't seen that video already, I just kind of talked about how I want to use this. And this is a plastic milk container from the Target dollar spot. And I'm gonna fill it up with water and use it with the water activated tape dispensers, but then also to have it next to me when I'm using my paint silicone mat, and if I need to refill that water bowl, you know, with additional water. So that's pretty much what I want to use this for, and I just wanted to make it extra cute and fun by adding these cherries. And after adding them in that video, I mentioned that I might want to add my initial right here, and I meant to do that, but I completely forgot. So okay, just peeling this back. Perfect. And I already added rubbing alcohol, and I just want this to go right here. I couldn't decide if I wanted to go with pink or this really pretty, I don't know, what color would you say this is? Teal or mint? But in the end, I decided on the pink. I felt like it would match the rest of the decor better. Although I do have a lot of mint as well, but I don't know. I figured it would look nice with either one. Pink was the winner for this one. And that's it. It is ready. I'm gonna bring in as many items as I can. I probably won't bring in the bins because they're gonna steal focus. Okay, I'm so excited to be checking off all these items from my list. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. I'm excited to go finish up these cards. So these are gonna go through, I'm gonna run them through my die cut machine. So in the end, they'll kind of look like this if you're not familiar with the process. I'm gonna be putting the cat right here, and then this adorable thing right here, and I still haven't decided what sentiment I'm going to use for this one. This is the other card I'm working on, and I just have to add the hands behind him or her, and then this teeny tiny crossbody, which look at how cute that looks. Oh my gosh. Let me know what kind of style you prefer when it comes to videos. If you like when I get things done, but then also like the theme-based videos. If you have a preference of one over the other, let me know. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you made it till the end, add a pet emoji in the comments section. Whatever pet is your favorite. I love you all so, so much. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in next week's video. Bye.